If you're ambitious but you feel stuck, it may not be that you're lazy or that you just can't figure it out. Honestly, the system is designed to keep you enslaved. It's like Neo and the Matrix, right? People don't know that they're in a matrix. And for a lot of us, the education system will spit out job seekers and not job creators or investors, right? So we're in this system and it's something that wants to keep us in our place, right? It sounds super oppressive. And this is some stats, it's not that you're lazy, the system keeps you stuck, right? But 67% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, including high earners, even in 2025, right? 67%. You may be living paycheck to paycheck. You may not be. Over 50% of high income earners carry credit card debt and lack emergency savings, right? So this is something that it's designed to set us up to fail, right? Most people are failing at this. If you're failing at this, it's okay. I've had my rocky bumps here too, right? But I think it's important that we realize this system, we have to do something different if we want to have different results, right? You can't simply do the same thing and expect different results. What do we call that? We call it insanity, right? That you're actually doing the same things and expecting things to happen totally different. So when Neo wakes up, right, he sees that the Matrix is just a system, right? It's a system becomes the enemy, right? So I'm going to make some parallels to the Matrix here. I love it from a spiritual and even just a reference when it comes to finance and society as well. But really there's this second point is that the ignition moment, right? There's an ignition moment of how do you break out of this trap? How do you break out of the Matrix? How do you take the red pill, right? Well, I call it the 3 C's. So just like an old school preacher, right? Here's the 3 C's of how to break out of that trap. First, it's cash flow, connections, and confidence. So the first one is cash flow. People ask me all the time, hey, what's more important, cash flow or appreciation? And I say, appreciation is great, but a lot of money someday, even if it's a 10x, 100x, if it happens in the way down in the future, it's not going to change your life or allow you to quit your job today. So cash flow is what really allows you to experience the magic, right? Stuff that comes in that you don't go to work and funds still come in for you. So I keep beating this drum because it's so true. It's like I didn't get it until I experienced it. And I started to get cash flow even from a small single family. Then I started doing multifamily. I just saw how this really is a compounding thing that can really overtake you, and it can just constant giving back. And over time, especially with assets, a lot of times payments and assets grow. So I love cash flowing assets. I can get it. I have other videos about my 3 favorite cash flowing investments. I've got a free guide. If you'd like that free guide, you can send me an email at Bronson Equity. I will send you a copy of my free guide of the 2025 my 3 favorite cash flow investments. I'll be happy to send that to you. And then the second C is connections, right? Like Neo meeting Morpheus, a trusted network can change everything, right? I have this group, the Wealth Forum. We get together, we talk about deals, we talk about what's happening in the economic environment, we talk about what's happening in the world, and what are opportunities, what are people doing, what are mistakes people have made. And because of that, I'm able to get benefit from what other people are doing, the mistakes that they've made, the good things that they've done, the great operators they've worked with, right? Which is huge. Starting a real estate meetup years ago in Pasadena, California, opened up so many doors. Now I've raised $50 million, right? So if you're a passive investor, just even having those connections, some of the best passive investors I know spend half of their time or more just simply connecting with other investors and getting access to deals. So I think that's huge. I think it's really great that you stay in touch, you grow your network. Super important to make those connections. The last C, you have cash flow connections. The last one is confidence. Once you see the cash flow coming in, and once you see that it actually could potentially overtake maybe not just your current income, but your living expenses, right? For me, if I was making 200K, I didn't have to replace 200K. I just had to replace 60 to 70K, right? 5-6K a month, it was enough for me, right? At the time, maybe you have a much higher number, different number, but a lot of times it's not how much we make, it's how much we actually need to be able to live well. So that's the biggest thing I would say. The third point on all this is to expand wisely, buy assets over liabilities. We all know we should buy, rental properties before we should buy the Lambo, right? We should do investments like oil and gas more before we should buy a yacht, right? So these are things that we want to have our assets be able to pay for our liabilities, right? So that the asset will appreciate over time. And then we can use that to go buy things we need or things that are temporary or things that are fun, right? So to get that order right, the people that get in trouble, they want the fancy thing now. But if you're willing to wait, you're going to really benefit yourself, your family, and you're going to grow your wealth over time. This is how I did it in my life, right? I 20x my net worth by getting into some amazing multifamily deals, some other investment deals, and I was able to wisely reinvest that into other deals that were to scale over time. So I grew to a multiple 7-figure net worth in about 4 years. So, but for most Americans, 66% of Americans live paycheck to paycheck, right? That's a tragedy, right? So if that's you can make changes, you can make shifts, you can learn, you can grow. So I encourage you with that. So I want to just share this with you. This isn't a direct quote, but it comes from the Matrix. It's really, you're not lazy, right? You're trapped in a system that was never designed to free you, right? Take the red pill, break the pattern, and build your freedom. So let's be like Neo, take the red pill, go down deep. It can be a little disturbing when you kind of see how things are actually set up, but yet it leads to incredible amounts of freedom. So would love to connect with you. Comment below how this benefited you. Share this with someone, like this video, and look forward to seeing you on the next video that we'll put out.